Hey guys, welcome to episode 17 of Pokemon Generation 1. Last we left off, we started clearing out the SSN after a little bit of backtracking. Now, down here are quite a few trainers, and none of them are really important. So for the first time in this playthrough, we're gonna go Mach Speed. Cue the music! Alright, I'm back after that Mach Speed section. Rival battle. Was I really invited? Well, no. Bill was invited, but he gave me the invitation instead. But yeah, time for a rival match. Interesting here is that his pose is different compared to when you first fought him. Yes, your rival here is one of the only trainers, if not the only trainer in the entire series, who changes poses throughout the course of the game. Ouch! That happened. Overdue on criticals, yeah, but damn. Raticate. Off screen, I healed everybody up at the Pokemon Center, by the way. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, I think I said this before, you would actually get a bed to rest in, whereas here, you do not. Right in the teeth. Ouch! Hyper Fang, that's not good. I'm kind of surprised it didn't do more. Kadabra. What's interesting about Kadabra here, I just now noticed this. He does not have a star on his forehead, whereas in later games, including Pokemon Stadium, he does. I have no idea why that's the case. But speaking of which, something I recently remembered. The self-proclaimed psychic Uri Geller. At one point, he had sued Nintendo because Kadabra apparently was using his image. Apparently, however, he didn't like how it was used because of the red star on Kadabra's forehead. I'm pretty sure that was the case anyway. He lost. But since he wouldn't agree with Nintendo's terms, he was too stubborn to basically let them use Kadabra in any way, shape, or form outside of the games at that point. So no Kadabra in the TCG, no one in the anime had a Kadabra at that point. And I know one particular YouTuber that hurt, and that's Roland Mithril, because his favorite Pokemon of all time to this day is still Kadabra, so... Damn! Critical after a stat debuff. That seems to be happening a lot. Criticals in general have been happening a lot. But yeah. Cut itself is really useful. I think you might want to look into that a little more. Just talk to him? And apparently Pokemon Center healing music there for some reason. HM01, cut. The first HM you can possibly get at this point. Interesting enough, it's possible to trade a Pokemon that knows cut, at least I think it is, to the point where you don't have to get this, and you can come back to the SSN later on when you get Surf. Amusing enough, if you do this and intentionally lose to one of the trainers, if you surf outside the SSN, there's a truck nearby. Many people have speculated that is where Mew was. That's not the case. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, they added a lava cookie as a way of saying, oh hey, you do remember this was here. But here's the thing. You basically... Actually, wait a minute. You get the HM, intentionally lose a fight, and then you come back when you get Surf. Because once you leave the boat, it's gone for good. And we hear the surfing music a little bit early. Can this thing go any faster? Come on, I've got better things to do here. You're automatically kicked out, so you can't come back here ever again. So at this point, you may as well deposit the SS ticket. So, I am not going to be showing that truck. Not that I ever cared to. Now, cut is probably the most annoying of the HMs because you need it so many times in situations where you really shouldn't be needing it. Most notably to access the next two gyms. Why did they do this? I don't know. Alright, deposit the SS ticket, deposit the rest TM. Because I don't see a use for that here. Now, later generations you would have the Mint Berry, otherwise known as the Chesto Berry in later games. That was quite the strategy in Gen 2's competitive. Because you'd curse your Snorlax up to death, Curse was introduced in Gen 2 by the way. Use Rest, wake up with the Mint Berry, and sweep. That's why the Gen 2 metagame was considered one of the worst. It was a stall game. And people do still apply that strategy, giving Snorlax the Chesto Berry, which is what it was named to in later games, and just sweeping after a little bit of rest. Anyway, another annoying thing, you have to constantly go into your Pokemon menu and select the HM every time. Later generations, you didn't have to worry about that. You could just talk to the obstacle and just use the HM immediately. Anyway, may as well fight these trainers here. I think I have Alakazam in the front, because that's who we're going to want in front for this. And indeed I do. Oh, come on. Don't you dare paralyze me. Good. And booyah! 24 damage, nothing to sneeze at. It doesn't help that Pikachu is still pretty pathetic either way. Overkill much? But yeah, I think that's all the time I have, so I'm gonna have to save. And in the next episode of Pokemon Generation 1, we're going to continue the Vermilion City Gym. Later, guys.